Evolution of a Nobody, Chapter 17 and 18, Square One. Chapter 17. Albert got dressed, choosing another pair of tan shorts and a plain black t-shirt before emerging to the main room. Make sure you leave enough food for my mother to get a serving, you know, if she wants some. She usually eats at work, but I like to leave something for her. To the relief of angel and demon alike, he wore a smile on his face and he had a spring in his step. Behind him, he was dragging the chair from his desk and he yanked his arm forward. The wheels didn't carry it far, but it stopped right at the table nonetheless, to within an inch or two from where he wanted it. "So food?" he asked, glancing over to where the blushing angel was nearly done. She piped up a little higher pitch than she needed to. "Yes! Just a second! Raz, put bowls on the table, will you?" Raziel gave her sister a double take, as if to ask, "What happened in there?" before reaching for the bowls and spoons and taking them to the table. No answer was forthcoming, not even by facial expression, which only deepened Raziel's curiosity, but she let it go for the moment. The bowls felt strange in Raziel's hand, far smoother than the wooden bowls she was familiar with bright colors and bendy, flexible material that gave when she pressed her fingers against it. She folded her wings around her body, and after laying a bowl with a spoon down at each place, she sat. "So," Albert asked congenially, "did you do anything fun while I was gone?" "Video games and reading, nothing remarkable." "Your world, though, what great evil are you trying to seal?" "Can I ask that?" Liala asked and shuddered while she set the pot down between them. "I'm sorry, I don't understand," Albert replied while she took their bowls up one by one and ladled stew into them. The meat and potatoes fell with wet plops that showed how thick the stew was, and steam rose with the succulent smell of a well-made meal. Albert inhaled the scent, closing his eyes while he took it in, and 3 bellies rumbled at once. "That's why your world has all these wars, right? You're trying to create heroes?" she asked, and shut her mouth at a glare from Raziel. "You're still not making any sense," Albert replied offhandedly before putting the first spoonful in his mouth. An explosion of flavor hit, and his mouth watered even more than before. His eyes widened in disbelief. "Are you sure you're an angel and not a goddess of cooking?" He offered the praise and immediately shoved his spoon back into the bowl and drew it up to his mouth for another bite. "You're far too generous. I'm not that good," she said and shifted the subject. "I was just reading about history, that's all." "Your world is complicated, confusing, magic is everywhere but nowhere. Your computer, that one thing, is worth more than—" Liala shook her head in dismay while unthinkingly looking back toward the tool. "Anything!" Raziel filled in the gap and charged ahead with her own inclinations. Her eyes sparkled, her talon-tipped fingers interlocked. "I've been reading all about your game designers. They're like gods creating whole worlds. No wonder we were fooled into thinking Cammy was a real person, such a rich story. We never imagined something like this." From there, Raziel leaned back in her chair, her arms wildly gesturing while Albert helped himself to another bowl and then another, until she came to another thing that stopped him dead. "And by the way, why did you make Kami the way you did?" "Sorry, what?" Albert asked with his cheeks stuffed with stew. "He's a fighter and a mage, and he has some crazy destructive powers. Raziel couldn't blush, but she folded her hands into her lap and looked down sheepishly with fluttering dark eyelashes. "Peeked at your character a bit. Your quest log. That goes against the gamer code, you know." Albert didn't really glare. It was a little invasive, but not the same as reading a diary. "Yeah, I figured that when I felt guilty snooping. But your character quest log, you made him some all-conquering force of nature. So how come?" "How come you wanted that when you won't even protect yourself?" Raziel asked, and then snapped her jaw shut when she felt a pinch on her leg from her sister. "What my sister means, Albert," Liala interjected, "is she's wondering why you enjoy all that fake violence, but you just go with it happening in the real world." Albert's expression changed. The luster in his eyes was gone, and Raziel realized how badly she'd overstepped. "Forget I asked. I'm sorry. That was rude." "Please accept my apology," Raziel said and bowed her head to him. "Do you think I like this?" "I don't." "I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to come home beat up every day. I hate them. I hate them all so damn much. The teachers, the students, my former friends, the administrators. I hate them. But what can I do? I'm one guy. If I don't defend myself, it ends faster. If I just let them do what they want to me, it ends and I can go away. And my mom, she always said to be good and don't fight. Just be good and people will like you. Just be good and you won't be alone. Just be good and you can make friends. Everything will be fine, just fine, just fine if I just don't do anything bad. He wasn't really paying any attention to them anymore. He was looking down to the scraps of remaining stew in his bowl. If I don't do anything bad, everybody will see that I'm good. They'll see I'm not my dad and don't deserve this. Then Mom and I can have friends again, be happy again. I can't have Dad back, but we can have real lives, just as long as I don't do anything to anybody and put up with whatever they do. The pain always stops eventually. Cammy helps me put up with it all. I can blow off steam by blowing things up in the game. I can pretend it's Jason that I'm throwing off a cliff after setting him on fire. I can pretend it's Trevor that is running away from me. I can pretend it's Lisa who is trying to apologize. As long as I can pretend, I'm fine. The table was quiet. Albert raised his head. Wow, I never realized how pathetic that sounded until I said it out loud and heard it with my own 2 ears. He huffed, pathetic. All I'm trying to do is act the way my parents, particularly my mother, want me to, and it's made me pathetic. He stared seemingly at nothing for a short time while Leala and Raziel stared down and ate quietly. Only the noise of their spoons striking plastic bowls sounded within the little apartment. "You're not pathetic," Raziel said, and dropped her spoon in the same way. "You're not pathetic or gutless or anything else." "I didn't say I was gutless or anything else," Albert said, dropping his hands down and leaning back in his chair. "But you were thinking about it," Raziel deduced. "You took in 2 strangers who in your world shouldn't even exist. I know your world's mythology about my race. By all rights, you should have automatically thought the worst of me." She bit her lower lip hard enough to draw a tiny bit of blood that hissed when it was exposed to the air. "But you didn't. You let us stay here when it would be a whole lot easier for you to just throw us out and forget us. And when I thought terrible things of you, things I shouldn't have, and asked you, you forgave me. Those aren't things just anybody could do." Albert found the contents of his bowl very fascinating at that moment, or so it looked when he wouldn't meet the ruby eyes that stared at him so intensely. "My overly blunt and overly detailed sister is right," Leala said. She clung to her spoon, wrapping it in her slender fingers with such intensity that it began to crumple in her hand. "Your world is as cruel and violent as you warned us. I've only barely scratched the surface, but the weapons you use are beyond anything I've ever seen. We got lucky with you, so don't be so down, okay?" Albert exhaled heavily through his nose. Yeah, you're right. Excuse me for bringing the mood plumetting so suddenly. I'm luckier than a lot of people. I still have my mom, and you two are great company, even if you're a bit odd." "As if we couldn't be," Raziel smirked. "What she said," Leala added, and crossed her arms in front of her chest in a huff and looked away with obviously exaggerated haughtiness. "Let's see about getting you some things to wear, yeah?" "What do you say?" Albert said, and rose from the table. "I don't have much, but—" Raziel's hand moved faster than his eye could follow, 2 of her fingers covering his lips and a warm, affectionate smile on her face that exposed the row of sharp fangs. "Albert, don't apologize for giving us a gift. Whether it's a copper or a gold piece, we didn't do anything for it, and it will make us more comfortable, so thank you." "Thank you very much." Albert blinked several times, breathing against the hard red fingers of the succubus. He mumbled out, "Kahai," and blushed. The others rose from the table and followed him into his bedroom. He sat down at the computer while the sisters leaned on his shoulders. They didn't weigh very much, but despite the softness of their skin, there was a solidity underneath that made him think vaguely of granite. He signed in, opened a browser, and cleared his throat while trying not to think of the radiant pair so close to him, and trying really hard not to notice their cleavage in the reflection of the computer monitor in front of him. He coughed into his hand, cleared his throat, and opened up several more tabs. "I don't really know what you want in terms of clothing, but here are some popular sites. This one sells what we call goth material. This one's stuff for teenage girls. This one just something of everything. Try to get 2 sets of each. I can't get you much, but it's better than nothing." "Albert, stop doing that," Leala said, and put a hand under his chin. She turned his face up toward him. "Again, we're thankful for what you've done. Please." She blinked her eyes several times in rapid succession. "We're not demanding. This is already heartbreakingly kind, just based on what you went through to get this for us. We'll do our best to buy cheap and leave some left over." "Sorry," he said to her. "It's just what I'm used to. I'll let you shop. I'm going to take a few minutes and go for a walk." "It's fine." Leala smiled, let go of his chin, and both she and her sister moved to allow him to leave them in peace. As he walked out, he heard Leala say, "All right, Raz, you go first." Then he shut the door and heard only muffled chatter before he walked to take in the evening air, the warm breeze, and the quietly ending eventful day. Chapter 18. "Got topic? Oh, I like this one." Raziel clicked around at some of the short skirts and tight shirts. "All that about you not wanting to be a fetish, and that is what you want?" Leala said askance. "What are you trying to do, seduce?" "Albert." "Hey, it's okay if I do it. I like being sexy," Raziel said, and fluttered her wings a bit. "And black is definitely my color. Tell me I wouldn't look great in that, I dare you." "Well, he told you to buy what you want, but if you give the young man a heart attack or a hard-on," Leala said, and let the statement hang, shaking her head reprovingly. "Well, aren't you little miss less than innocent all of a sudden?" Raziel gave a teasing wink up to her sister. "It's not like that. He's a male, though, and even if he's not a race we're familiar with, the parts are all there, and I've seen the way he looks and I saw that stuff on the web. I'm just saying," Leala tried to say, but Raziel clicked add to cart. "No, we can trust Albert." "I wasn't sure at first, but I shared with him." Raziel said and clicked add to cart twice more in rapid succession for some shorts that would come halfway down her thighs, and an oversized T-shirt to go with the pair of shorts that made her think sexy. Leala put a hand on her sister's before Raziel could hit check out. The total was just 10 shy of what was on the card, leaving a little left over for self-care things like soap, toothbrushes, and hair care. "Raziel," she said with more seriousness, her face blank, her voice steady. Raziel looked up at her. "This isn't another infatuation, is it? Because remember, we don't know anything about the outside world from experience, just the bare scraps we've consumed already. Don't play around here. I know you love to do that, but this is serious. We have to live here with him. We've got no other option." "I know," Raziel said, suddenly small-voiced, the brashness gone. "But I want to feel good. I want to feel confident, and when we reset to square one, I still want to dress like me. We didn't have clothes like this back home, but damn it, if we had," she jabbed her talon at the screen, "that's what I'd have worn." Leala slowly removed her hand from the mouse. "I understand. I'm sorry for doubting you." She waited until Raziel finished and then sat down when space was made for her. "Okay, see now, I am going to go a more respectable route. Something prim suits me, and apparently there's this very large religion. A lot of girls go to their schools, and they have this wonderful uniform." She quickly added 3 pairs of red plaid skirts and 3 white-collared button-down shirts to go with it. "Apparently they revere angels, so if we have to go out, I'll wear this and be perfectly respectable." Leala checked out, and similarly, she had enough money left over for a few care items. "Perfectly prudish, you mean?" Raziel taunted her and arched her back, stretching out her arms and her wings. "You could stand to be a little more daring, but hey, if you're too shy, you're too shy. You'll grow up someday, sister." Raziel patted the blonde hair of her sister with a taunting laugh to join it, and then while Leala fumed silently, went to turn on Hilarum and play some more. Albert was enjoying his walk. His mood was already improving, but it wasn't without its recriminations. "She's got a point. Why are you always apologizing? That's even more pathetic than the rest. You've been telling yourself you don't deserve to be treated like crap. So why are you apologizing as if you did?" He had no ready answer to his question, but the comfort the pair offered him, the simple gratitude, was a gift of gold. An angel and a demon, and they're more humane than humanity to me. Just wow. Despite the somewhat bitter acknowledgment, a degree of gratitude for their kindness was matched by sympathy for their plight. In a few years I can leave this place and never come back. But them? They have nowhere they can go, nothing they can do. If I kicked them out, they'd have to head for the wilderness and pray never to be found. They've got literally nothing. It was a sobering thought that consumed him so completely that he almost didn't even see her coming. Or rather, he didn't see her at all, but he did when she called his name. Albert! He ducked immediately and protected his head. Albert, no! It's me! It's Lisa! Lisa Foxworthy, she shouted. He slowly straightened up to get a look at her, and when he did, he gave her the same empty stare he gave everyone. That changes nothing, he said and walked on. Albert! I was on my way to your place, she shouted and jogged across the street. It was quiet now, the waning hours between day and night when the twilight would take over and darkness would cover the town. Is your posse still with you? Did you want to watch some more? Albert asked. He ignored her further, neither running nor slowing down as she came jogging up to him, breathing hard and bowing her head. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, she said and reached for his hand. He flinched back, yanking his hand away from hers and looking at her with the empty, glassy-eyed stare. I don't care, Albert replied. You made your choice, and it was yours to make. No, I didn't mean it, Lisa half yelled, half whimpered. You know me. You've known me since we were little. I'm not like that. No, I don't. I did know Elisa Foxworthy a long time ago. She was a nice, sweet girl who liked making people laugh and who people were happy just to be around. She was great. I liked her a lot. I don't know who the fuck you are, and I don't care to, Albert replied. Go on, leave me alone. I just said those things because Sarah was there, and so were... She had glistening tears in her bright green eyes, but they did nothing to slow his scathing response. Those nice friends who are so nice once you get to know them. The ones who knocked me in the muck, cracked a few bones, and punched me so hard in the kidney that I seized up and fell to my knees. Are those the people you mean? Albert stopped and glared at her. She hung her head in shame. I'm sorry. I just wanted them to like me, Lisa said and blinked her long eyelashes. Well then, you should have given me a swift kick to the face, too. You'd be in with the group for sure then. Albert clenched his fist. I wouldn't do that. I'm your friend. I just had a bad moment. I panicked and said the wrong thing. Lisa approached. I wasn't trying to get you hurt. You weren't supposed to be there. I just got so interested in what you were saying, I lost track of time. So it's my fault, of course it is. What else should I expect, right? What was it you said? A bad seed. He hissed the last words out at her. You're no friend of mine. I don't want to know you. I'm sorry, though. Really? She exclaimed and tried to touch him again. He jerked away from her, stepping back a pace. Her hand drew back, and she clutched it into the palm of her other hand, then held both of those at her sternum and lowered her head. Really sorry? Albert asked. He sounded almost conciliatory. Yes. I just made mistakes. I didn't mean for you to get hurt, she said, and wiped her eyes with the back of her left arm sleeve. All right, so prove it. Go to Sarah and Trevor and the rest of them tomorrow and tell them that you lied. Tell them in public, too, because you know they'll spread it around, Albert demanded, and Lisa froze stiff as an icicle. But then I'll be... Lisa bit her lip. A joke? A laughingstock? A liar? What else? Albert crossed his arms. I can't! Can't you just forgive me? I said I was sorry. You always used to forgive people when they said they were sorry. Lisa was shouting now, loud enough that he felt the need to look around to make sure nobody would bother them. Only then did he notice that he wandered to one of the emptier areas, a place once meant for employees of Pharmatol to live. Nobody was around. Okay, fine, I forgive you. Now you can leave me alone. You got what you wanted. Go home. I'm doing the same, Albert said and wheeled around, ignoring her again. Hey, you didn't mean it, she accused him after she found herself rooted in place by his sudden physical and verbal turnabout. No, I didn't, he said as she scurried to catch up to him. Mean it, she demanded. You first. Albert retorted, "Until you make it right, I won't even consider it, and why should I even if you tried? You can't unring a bell once it's rung, and this time it tolled for our friendship." He picked up the pace and kept his eyes ahead while she took longer than comfortable strides to keep up with him. "Did you at least tell your grandfather I quit, or do I have to call him too?" Albert asked. I'll tell him in the morning. Is that all right, Albert?" Lisa asked. "Fine, whatever, but I'll call him also, just to make sure you're not lying about that too," Albert retorted. "Albert, I'm your friend. I just made a mistake. I'm not like the ones who do those things." "I'm not." Lisa blinked back her tears as she insisted on her innocence of the charges, to which Albert said in a flat, uncaring monotone, "From where I'm standing and from where I was lying on the grime in the alley by your home where I went to help you, you're exactly that. Have fun with your new friends. I hope they're everything you wanted." Albert bit off the words with a sour expression and took off at a run. Lisa stood there in disbelief, watching as he picked up the pace. There wasn't a chance in hell of catching Albert, so all she could do was watch him put more and more distance between them until he was totally out of sight, which didn't take long thanks to the blurring in her eyes. One tiny part of her mind, however, had one rational question. How can he run like that after the beating he took?